When I started playing Osu, and I guess really when I start any new skill-based activity, I tend to look for some sort of beginner guide and just get some basic principles down and understand what exactly I'm supposed to be doing. So when I started playing Osu, this was back in like 2014, I'm pretty sure the first thing I did is I just Googled like Osu beginner guide or something like that. And this was one of the first results. And we can see here it is from 2008. And I just thought about this guide recently, and I figured I would take the time to go through this guide and almost sort of live react to what I think about this post nowadays. You know, the things that I agree with and the things that I think definitely have changed since so long ago. So also, I didn't really follow this guide to a T. Basically, it has a bunch of like maps here that it suggests you sort of go through. And then at the bottom, there's these sort of general tips. I remember reading somewhere that like really what you should do is just kind of grab songs, like whatever songs you like, maybe ones from like an anime you've seen or, you know, anything that you recognize already, and just sort of start playing things. So basically what I did when I started playing Osu is I did download this first map because it's like, oh, you know, this is a really good welcoming map, and you know, it's very simple. And this map actually is incredibly simple. I think it's like 0 stars. Let's see here. Okay, 0.81. Yeah, this is like everything is set to 0. It is, I'm pretty sure the map is like 50 circles and then a spinner. And I'm not going to lie, this map was actually really hard for me when I first started. I'll show you the map. Actually, let me open my game right now. Let me show you guys. All right. So we got the map. Let's check the locals. Oh, okay. The offline ones are from when I was, you know, basically showing other people the game when they came over. So yes, okay, these scores, this score, okay, this must have been my very first score. This is from the day that I made my account, I think. Let me check. I made my account May 11th at night. And then, yeah, okay, so I remember I made my account really late at night because I was watching Twitch and I saw the game on Twitch, but then I had school the next day. So then I went to sleep, but then I, you know, downloaded some maps and I guess this was my first score. Let's actually look at this replay. What's going on here? And change my skin so we can really get a good feel for the cursor movement. All right, yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm going to turn the music off just in case there's copyright, but you get the idea. It's like just very basic, like just, you know, J-pop. Look at this. Okay, I was using mouse buttons for sure. This map is extremely simple. Oh my god. I'm really hitting these though. I'm really going in. I'm not sure how many times I retried before getting this run. Oh, okay, pretty solid. Oh, okay, holding the SS. Wait, let's actually go. Oh my god, going crazy. Oh, okay, yep. All right. Okay, you guys get the idea though. Let me just check this map out in the editor. I think there's like, yeah, there's a couple breaks. Oh my lord, this video. Wait, what's going on here? I thought he was getting beat up, but what is that? Is that an onion? What's going on? Okay, this is not what I expected. Oh my god, I thought it was Carry. Okay, sorry, Carry. Yeah, this map goes freaking crazy. Yeah, and then there's a long spinner at the end. Oh, I remember. Oh, okay, I gotta check this replay for the cursor movement on this spinner. All right, let's see this cursor movement, this spinner. Oh man, let's go. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, that's a little strange. I don't even spin in that direction when I use mouse. I usually spin in this direction, so I'm not really sure how that happened. Anyway, a bit of a detour. Let's go back to this beginner's training thread. So let's see, this is in the gameplay and rankings section of the forums. And if you guys don't know, the forums actually used to be really, really poppin'. Like all the top players would post in the forums. Peppy would post in the forums. Like that was kind of the place to go. That's where the community sort of thrived. And I guess in general, forums were a lot more popular back in, you know, 2007, 2008 compared to these days. All right, I'm just going to read this for you guys. Okay, reading ASMR. Have you just started Osu and downloaded a song you like just to realize that you are terrible at it? Plenty of people pour in with this problem, so I'm offering a solution. A simple guide that directs you to songs that will help improve your skill level. In other words, beginner's training. Basically, I will show you good maps to learn from so you can progress into the magical world of Osu. I will put this together in steps. Each step does not need to be followed precisely, but is a general blueprint of how to get started and practicing. Oh my god, this is so wholesome. Welcome to the Osu Hotel. My name is Pokevis and I will serve as your guide. Aw, so wholesome, little happy face. Wow, I like how it says some minor mouse control instead of, I guess, cursor control. I think that's sort of the more common term these days. But yeah, everyone was playing with the mouse back then, so tablet was not really a thing back in 2008. Okay, right, so again, this is the first map that the sort of guide suggests. Okay, let's see what it says here actually, because I have my own way of describing to beginners, like how to play sliders. It says, keep the mouse button held and move the cursor over the ball until it reaches it. Okay, the English here is a little strange at times. So when I describe sliders to beginners, I usually try to emphasize that like you do not control the speed of the slider. The slider is at a fixed speed and it's your job to follow it, regardless of how fast the slider is going. So that's definitely something I would emphasize here when it comes to sliders. And then it kind of tries to describe what a break is. You know, if you see, oh, a painted circle or X. Yeah, so the old default skin, that's sort of what the section pass or section fail looked like. Let's see, this song is good to learn the basic skills. If you find it too easy, you can skip to number 4. Wow, so yeah, I would honestly definitely suggest if you are like a beginner player that this is really not a bad place to start. Personally, I'm a really strong advocate, really for any skill, but specifically for Osu, just being able to play like simple objects like in isolation, not even being able to play a pattern like basic patterns, but literally just like one circle at a time or one slider at a time. I think there's a lot of value that sort of comes out of that, because obviously if you think about it, everything in the game is built out of circles and sliders, so just practicing playing them in their very basic and isolated state is actually really helpful. And just practicing reading, like there's just one very slow circle and just, okay, take your time, you know, read the approach circle if you need to and try to get a feel for how the map is timed based on the music. So yeah, I would still definitely suggest this map. I kind of like how the second map that's linked here, it just says this map is good for practicing spinners. That is definitely something that was a lot more important back in 2008 than nowadays. I don't think the second map that I would suggest someone who's a beginner would be one that's for practicing spinners. I would probably focus more on sliders, I guess, or like a mixture of circles and sliders. But yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go through all of these maps. There's definitely a lot here. Oh, okay, I like how there's like 9 maps here and then a boss and bonus challenge, but then there's step 2. The beat begins. Yeah, I want to see these general tips. All right, what's going on here? Okay, the first tip here says if you're having trouble figuring out how to play a certain pattern, to actually watch one of the replays on the global ranking and see how someone else played it, which is actually really interesting. That's something that I've done a couple times that has actually helped me. If I was talking to a more experienced player, I would definitely just tell them to look in the editor instead. But I think that's obviously very daunting for beginner players especially, or even some more experienced players, to be honest. The only thing about grabbing replays from the global rankings these days for beginner players to sort of refer to is that global rankings these days are just filled with like 4 mod, like crazy leaderboard farm players. And I think they would much rather use auto mod, but yeah, very interesting. And if you're ever having any problems, feel free to drop into chat, press F8 and talk to us. We're a really nice community. Yeah, that's sort of what I was saying before. Like the community was so much smaller back then and so much more tight-knit, you know, all the most active players that were really good. They all kind of hung out together, you know, in #Osu or wherever else have you. And yeah, definitely nowadays that is not really the case. But, you know, still, I think that was definitely a very good tip for the time period. Oh my God, wait, this is genius. Check out the FAQ for more general answers. What the? Oh, okay, it's not very helpful. Yeah, honestly, I'm sure that some like similar but more modern versions of this guide have been created. But really all I would advise for beginners is to pick whatever you'd like. Honestly, that advice that I was talking about with just finding whatever songs you like, I think that's really the best way to go about things. And that's even the advice I give to people who are a bit more experienced as well, or anyone who's sort of lacking motivation to keep practicing this game, is just look for songs you like. And especially for beginners, I would say just pick something and just start playing the game, getting used to the mechanics. Usually when you're a beginner, the specifics of how you practice, or really just like in general, when you're in the early stages of training at something, the specifics and minor details matter so much less, because all you're really doing is absorbing like the general big picture concepts of like how the thing actually works and just gaining experience with, you know, sort of unique motor movements, and your brain sort of has to adapt to whatever it is that you're doing. And then once you feel like you've been experimenting for a while and you're not really seeing that sort of beginner's improvement where you're just kind of improving really quickly just through mere exposure, then I think it's worth sort of experimenting a little bit more and sort of diversifying the specific types of practice that you're doing. And also, as usual, pushing your comfort level and always sort of challenging yourself. That's like the baseline fundamental rule for really improving at anything, obviously. But yeah, a bit of a longer video, but hopefully this was somewhat insightful, a bit of a journey into old Osu history. And yeah, that's about it.